what's a construction? You can only use a compass and, now look what I'm going to call it, a straight edge. Because what's interesting with the ruler, straight edge, whether it's a old gift card, whether it's an old birthday card, you know, that you have, it is just going to be used to draw straight things. It's not going to be used to measure. You measure with your compass. That's kind of an interesting fact. So you had a cutout, a Post-it that had 3 little segments on it. So it's better just to jump into it. We are going to construct, now I may use a word here that you don't know what it means, and I'm sure you don't know the symbol for it. Construct and I'm going to abbreviate, segment congruent, I'll underline it, to segment MN. Oh, by the way, let's call this one up here, I think I named it CD. We got AB and MN, I called this one CD. Construction. Now, what do you think congruent means? In the context of the sentence, and you look at the picture, what do you think we're going to do? Congruent. If you need to move your Post-it over, you can move it over. Congruent segments have the same measure. Now, that's an interesting word because we can talk about congruent angles. The symbol, and I will use it because I don't like to write the word if I don't have to. The symbol is an equal with a little squiggle above it. So it's kind of like they're equal, the same, but when you talk about congruent, it has to be the measure of it. So how do we do that? And this is really, I did write a rule on the last one. We're going to do 4. Is I'm going to just say, and then I think you'll see that for 1, 2, and 3. Draw a segment longer than segment MN. And I'm going to skip down 2 lines. I'm going to use my ruler, but remember I told you we're only going to use a ruler for just drawing lines and stuff. So it's not used to measure. You're not going to measure them in and then draw it down here. That's not a construction. I'm just going to start a segment and draw it. I look at MN, I make it longer. Just eyeball it. Now, probably the best lesson on this today is learning how to hold the compass. And it's awkward. Now, so I put a color pencil in mine because I wanted you to see my marks. You're fine with just a regular pencil because some of these don't hold color pencils very well. But anyway. Now, if this is going to be what I'm going to measure with, oh, by the way, to hold it, this is not the way you hold a compass. Everybody wants to hold it like this and try to do this kind of junk. What's interesting is you have a pivot point. So I guess your pivot point is the foot you plant. Soccer, basketball, is that right? So your sharp point is your point you plant. And then now look how I'm holding it. And see, I rotate it and I don't touch this unless I'm moving it for a reason. So I'm going to move it, but I don't want to hold it like this. This is not the way you want to hold it. So watch what we're going to do. We're going to measure MN with this. Now, I can do it left-handed, right-handed. You do whichever way you're comfortable with. Put your sharp point on one end of MN. Now, I'm going to kind of tilt mine so you can see it. I'm going to put it on M. It doesn't matter which end you do it on. And plant it. Don't move that. Now, take your other hand and move this. Oop, I've got that under. It's kind of hard to hold it. And move this till you're at the end of MN. Now, you can do it this way or you can do it this way. It doesn't matter. Right-handed, left-handed. You do what's comfortable with you. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for closeness because sometimes the lead's not very wide and that kind of stuff. So we measured with this, right? And you want it tight enough that it doesn't just wobble like that one I had a while ago. Now watch what we're going to do. I think you'll get it. We're going to go ahead down here and put on our end the sharp point. And what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to, now this is a circle drawer. Most of the time you use it, we do other things with circles, but most of the time you're only drawing a piece of a circle called an arc, A-R-C. And I'm just going to go, now don't touch it. Try to do it with just holding the sharp point like this and not touching this, but just swing it just a little bit. And I'm making mine a little bit darker so you can see it. But don't try to use your hand to do this. That's where it'll work sometimes, but you tend to move it sometimes. So do that. Okay, it's awkward. Okay, I liked what Carson said. I thought that was so cute. Now, we've got a segment that is now the same length as MN, but that's not MN. That's like MN. So we have a notation we use later on, and so we put an M and we put a little apostrophe after it, and we call that M prime, like the new M. And then right here, we put N prime, and that's the new N. And that's it. You measure, mark, got it done. Number 2. Let's draw a segment congruent. I'm going to use the symbol congruent to segment. Let's do AB. It's a little baby one. So first step, I draw a segment longer than AB. So it doesn't have to really be that long, does it? I'm going to try to widen that just a little bit so you can see my segment. Oh, that's terrible. Let's just try to make it where you can see it. Just longer than the segment you're trying to make. Now, the thing, oh, and by the way, on your compass, you want your sharp point and your pencil to be about the same place. You don't want your pencil way out here and your compass back here. That is very awkward. You don't have to squeeze it and make sure it's exact, but you want to make sure they're about the same. Eyeball it. So what am I going to do? Put my sharp point on one end. I don't care which one. Squeeze it with the other hand till I get to the end of it. And we're going to pick it up. We're going to go down to our new segment. And again, look, I'm not touching that. It's hard when they're little, kind of. It's easier. Y'all should do it better with a pencil in it. My colored pencil just doesn't show very well, but I'll try to do it back and forth so that you can see what I've done. See, if you didn't move this, that's the same as that. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to put A prime, B prime, or you could switch it. Remember, you can call that segment AB or BA, so you can put an A or B at either end. Everybody good? Okay, let's try something with a little bit of a twist to it. Number 3, if you don't have room, we can do it at the top. You really just need like one line to do it. I want a segment that's going to be, now, if you remember the other day from one of the lessons, it may be lesson 3. I don't think my notebook will move anymore. Did I get it with the iPad? Yeah. I want the measure of CD. Remember, you don't put a bar above it, excuse me, if you're going to measure it, plus, and I want to do the measure of MN. So we're going to make a segment that's the length of CD plus the length of MN. So let's draw. Now, you got to kind of visualize it, CD, MN, and you can always lay your compass down and make it longer, but I just kind of overdo it. I just kind of say, well, MN, CD, I'm just going to make it long enough. Doesn't matter how long it is. Move that down just a bit. Now, what are we going to do? What do we need to do first? What did we do first? Measure with the compass. Which one you want to do? Does it matter? Is CD plus MN going to be the same thing as MN plus CD? Yeah, I'll do CD first just because that's what it says, but I don't have to. So measure CD, two-handed. Oh, I'm off the screen. Here we go. Everybody cool? Go down. I always start on the left end, but you can put it on the right end. I mean, that's a segment. You can do it any way you want to. And I'm going to mark it. I have to keep going back and forth. You probably shouldn't have to do that. Now, see people try to fake me out and make those marks with their pencil, regular pencil, and make me think. I can tell. And even when you get complicated graphs, I can tell where it's coming from. This is the center of that circle. And I can really be a detective and tell what you did wrong. So don't try to fake me out. So we're going to call that segment C prime and this one D prime. So what do we need to measure next? MN. Yes, I make it look easy because I've been doing this for 100 years. I can do that compass. And y'all look a little awkward, but that's just part of it. Now, where am I going to put this? That's the twist. Where am I going to have to put my sharp point? Am I going to put it on C prime or am I going to put it on D prime? D prime. But I've had people put it on C prime. I don't really know what they were doing. The part that's left over would be their subtraction, like if you were subtracting the little middle part. But I'm going to put it on D prime and extend it. And so I can put M prime, N prime on this one. I'll put M prime. I can leave D prime there. I can put M prime on it. You put what you're comfortable with. Your classwork doesn't even have letters on it. So you can just do it and not even have to letter them unless you want to. Okay, one more. Everybody good? Those are pretty easy. Last one is not hard. It's just interesting. It's a very neat one. Top of page 17. We're going to bisect, and I didn't give you this segment, so we'll use our ruler to draw it. Bisect, and we'll draw a segment RS in just a minute. Now, what do you think that means? There's two ways you can say this. Okay, if you're not sure, take your ruler. Let me get you a visual. Take your ruler and draw me, go down about 5 or 6 lines, and you don't have to count it, and draw me a 3-inch segment. Is that my 3 right there? I think it is. I need to put my glasses on, I guess. And we're going to call that segment RS. We're going to run to the bell. RS, I want to bisect it. What do you think what's that going to tell us to do? Okay, let me give you this. Another way to say it is find the midpoint. So what are we trying to do either way? What are we going to do to this? We're going to cut it in half. And it's going to be, the two segments that are left over should be congruent. Think about the word I gave you. You'll find a point, they'll be the same on both sides. Now, the only rule I have to give you, but we'll write it when we get through, is, and you may kind of want to do it, but you got to watch what I'm doing. The trick is you've got to take your compass and open it more than halfway. Just visualize it. Now, I wouldn't open it way out here because you probably won't have enough room on your paper. So just as long as it's obviously more than half. You're not trying to get close to half, just more than a half. I usually do like 2/3 or 3/4 or something. Okay, everybody cool? Good to go. Now watch what I'm going to do. Everybody watch, and then you can do it. I'm going to go. Now remember, this would draw a big circle. I'm only going to draw 2 pieces. I'm going to go up here and make a big arc. Now watch. Then I'm going to go down here and make a big arc. Okay, do not move the compass in terms of the width of it. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to S, and I'm going to put my sharp point on S, and I'm going to do the same things. Now they need to cross. If they didn't cross, just go back and redo your arcs, just extend them, and you should have 2 points like that. Now this is an awesome construction because if we connect those and connect all these points, we would have 4 congruent triangles. Another neat thing, I'm just going to lightly draw the whole thing. This is going to be perpendicular right here. This is going to be right angles. There's so much geometry in this, but we're only interested in that point, and I'll put an M there. We cut it into 2 congruent segments. So what was the trick? Why did we have to open compass more than halfway? Why? What if I didn't open it halfway? What if I did that? What would have happened? What won't happen? If I had gone less than half, what would have happened with my arcs? They won't cross. If you open them exactly halfway, they would only be there, but you don't have in the rule, 2 points make a line. Yeah, I think we had that in our lesson too. 2 points make a line.